The Philippine consulate holds office in this skyscraper, but the Philippine flag is nowhere in sight at this time.
the truth.
Never again!
To live in the claws of darkness, of lies, madness, wickedness, corruption, and greed.
Never again!
To die from the pangs of poverty, violence, slavery.
Never again!
For the youth killed violently, fathers killed without any cause, and mothers killed without hesitation.
Never again!
For the farmers buried secretly, fisher folks drowned without reluctance, and workers mangled without pity.
Never again!
For the students and teachers abducted and killed without remorse, priests and nuns liquidated without shame, journalists murdered without reparations, and all who were salvaged without law.
Never again!
Together, let us honor all the mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, children, relatives, friends, comrades, all unsung heroes who have fallen in the struggle against tyranny and all forms of oppression.
Never again!
Together we commit to stand up and fight. Stand up and fight. With the workers, stand up and fight. With the fisher folk,
Stand up and fight!
with the peasants,
Stand up and fight!
with the students and youth,
Stand up and fight!
with the professionals,
Stand up and fight!
all the defenders of human rights.
Stand up and fight!
Makipagat!
Wag matakot!
Huwag matakot!
Makibaka!
Mabu, mabu, mabu!
Mabuhay!
Mabu!
Never again! Never again!
Never again!
Martial law!
Never again! Never again! Never again to martial law!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
Stop the killing in the Philippines!
Never again! Never again!
Never again! Never again!
Never again! Never again!
Never again! Never again!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
Stop the killing in the Philippines!
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace!
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
Stop the killing in the Philippines!
Not another dollar! Not another dime!
Not another dollar! Not another dime!
No USA for the Duterte's crimes!
No USA for the terrorist crime!
Not another dollar! Not another dime!
Not another dollar! Not another dime!
No USA for the Duterte's crimes!
No USA for the terrorist crime!
When human rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that!
What do we do?
Stand up like that!
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that!
What do we do?
Stand up like that!
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that!
What do we do?
Stand up like that!
Makibaka!
Wag matakot!
Wag matakot!
Makibaka!
Martial law sa Mindanao! Ibasura! Martial law sa Mindanao!
Ibasura!
Jump, jump, jump martial law! Jump, jump, jump martial law! Jump, jump, jump martial law!
Anak Bayan, Chicago. And we're here today standing with the Malaya movement against dictatorship and tyranny in the Philippines, as well as with the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines, and many other organizations that have come together to stand against dictatorship and tyranny, including the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns, the Fellowship for Filipino Migrants, Anak Bayan Chicago, Council Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines, Migrante Chicago, Kabataan Alliance, and Circa Pintig. Alright, so let's practice some chants, alright? So I'm going to say money for jobs and education, not for wars and occupation. Alright, money for jobs and education,
Not for wars and occupation.
money for jobs and education,
Not for wars and occupation.
money for jobs and education,
Not for wars and occupation.
money for jobs and education.
Not for wars and occupation.
Nice. Alright. You probably know this one, okay? The people united.
Will never be defeated.
El pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
Ang tao, ang bayan.
Ngayon ay lumalaban.
Ngayon ay lumalaban.
Ang tao, ang bayan.
Oh my gosh, we just spoke in 3 different languages, y'all. Alright. We just did this one all together. So it goes, never again, never again, never again to martial law, never again, never again, never again to martial law, never again,
Never again, never again to martial law.
never again, never again.
Never again to martial law.
Woo! Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, you want to lead us in a chant, Yoko? There you go.
Yeah, you do.
This is Yoko, by the way.
We're gonna do jump martial law.
Jump, martial law.
Jump martial law. Jump martial law.
Jump, martial law.
Jump martial law.
Jump, martial law.
Jump martial law.
Alright. Not for sale. Philippines, not for sale.
Not for sale. Not for sale.
Philippines, not for sale.
Not for sale. Not for sale.
Mindanao, not for sale.
Not for sale. Not for sale.
Philippines, not for sale.
Not for sale. Not for sale.
Mindanao is not for sale.
Not for sale. Not for sale.
Oh, I made this one up and it's kind of hard. Let's try it out. Okay, so it goes, no to tyranny.
No to tyranny.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
No to tyranny.
No to tyranny.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
Alright, all together now. Let's try it. Oh, like the whole thing. Okay. No to tyranny. Malaya means we fight to be free. No to tyranny.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
No to tyranny.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
No to tyranny.
Malaya means we fight to be free.
Maybe you know this one. Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Justice.
Tell me what you need, what you really need.
Justice.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Justice.
Tell me what you need, what you really need.
Justice.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
How we gonna get it? This one is a tribute to indigenous schools in the Philippines. Lumad is a term for indigenous peoples. It goes, stop Luma killing! Save our schools! Alright, let's try it. Stop Luma killing!
Save our schools!
Stop Luma killing!
Save our schools!
Stop Luma killing!
Save our schools!
And we also remixed this one. It's no justice, no peace. Stop the killings in the Philippines. No justice, no peace.
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
No justice, no peace.
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
No justice, no peace.
Stop the killings in the Philippines!
Oh my gosh. You all have been to
Where's the flyer? I need to give him
The people united.
You're also Filipino, huh?
Salamat!
The workers
Thank you.
united. The people united.
We'll never be defeated!
Ang tao, ang bayan.
Ngayon ay lumalaban!
Ngayon ay lumalaban.
Ang tao, ang bayan!
Wow! Workers are supporting our protest and action today. Wow, that's beautiful. Yes, okay.
Stay here, my dear.
Sorry, temporary pause in the program. Maybe first we should introduce ourselves again. Again, my name is Maya Arcelia. I am the chairperson of Anak Bayan Chicago.
My name is Yoko. I'm a member of the Chicago Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines, or teacher.
And we're so happy to be with you here today, along with the Malaya Movement for Freedom and Democracy in the Philippines against dictatorship and tyranny, as well as the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines, which is a broad coalition of different organizations throughout the United States that are fighting for freedom and peace in the Philippines. And we are gathered here today in front of the Philippine consulate to say that we want no more martial law in Mindanao. On this 46th anniversary of martial law declaration under the Marcos dictatorship, the same martial law that claimed the lives of over 3,240 people, and those are just the officially claimed lives, that tortured over 34,000 people and imprisoned 70,000 under a dictatorship of Marcos. We've seen history repeat itself once again as Duterte declared martial law in Mindanao over a year and a half ago. History has repeated itself and even worsened under Duterte's presidency. We've seen over 400,000 people evacuated and from their ancestral domains. Of those people, almost 3,500 people were killed in the Marawi crisis. 23,000 have been killed in the war on drugs, and 1,200 have been illegally arrested and detained. So we gather here at the Philippine consulate to voice our strong indignation against tyranny and dictatorship, the rise to dictatorship of Duterte's presidency.
Yes!
Woo!
Right.
And so let's stand united here today, to say, junk, junk, junk martial law!
Jump, 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 martial law!
Junk, junk, junk martial law!
Jump, 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 martial law!
Junk, junk, junk martial law!
Jump, 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 martial law!
Junk, junk, junk martial law!
Jump, 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 martial law!
So our first speaker today is from NAFCON, or the National Alliance of Philippine Concerns Midwest chapter. She was a student activist during the martial law years of Marcos. We are welcoming Marissa Alvarez.
Never again, never again to martial law!
our human rights, I will speak about the evils of martial law on children. I was a child of Lanao. I was born and raised in Lanao del Norte, in central Mindanao, the southernmost island in the Philippines. Mindanao, for many of us, is our promised land. I just turned 9 years old when Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in all of the Philippines on September 21, 1972. I was in grade 3 and just started to learn on how to read and write. You know, in my generation, we don't have preschooler, we don't have kindergarten. We go directly to grade 1. Yeah. So, the first night of martial law was the most horrifying experience a child could ever have. The siren were as loud as the one you see and hear in the movies of World War II, calling for people to cover for shelter against the enemy bombings. Only, in this case, it means it's curfew. Anyone found on the streets were shoot to kill. The sound of gunfire were never ending. The morning after was a nightmare. Dead bodies were scattered on the streets of what is now the Maharlika Highway, the highway that connects most of the provinces of Mindanao. Then the military came to my parents' house asking for the college students who were renting rooms at our house. Of course, many of them have fled even before martial law was declared. I grew up watching this terrible tragedy. Dead bodies on the streets and bodies floating on the river nearby was a common sight. Anyone who questions Marcos and or the military rule were disappeared, abducted, tortured, jailed. One experience I cannot forget was the abuses of the military against children. One late afternoon, a drunken military officer threw a hand grenade on children playing patintero on the streets. It was a horrendous sight, with children's bodies dismembered and their internal organs scattered all over the ground. The ground was flooded with blood. What is the future for us children, was my question then. Our generation lost our childhood. We were forced to mature and became political. I understood back then that we have to fight back. I became an unwavering student activist who fought against Marcos until he was ousted by a people's uprising in 1986. We will never forget. But what happened after Marcos? As a church lay worker, advocating for justice and peace, I witnessed and documented the continuing abuses on human rights of the poor and marginalized in the Philippines. The period of succeeding presidents after Marcos, Cory Aquino, Fidel Ramos, Joseph Estrada, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and Benigno Aquino III all have blood in their hands.
Yes.
As far as human rights is concerned. But it is this current president, the US-backed Rodrigo Duterte, who is now running the country like a psychopath. In all this, the children are victims. From the Lumad and Moro children of Mindanao, to children like Ian Lloyd de los Santos, one of the many faces
of Duterte's war on drugs or war on the poor that are taking the lives of over 20,000 people within the 2 years of Duterte's presidency.
Worse.
We must never forget. It is our duty to fight. When children's rights are under attack, what do we do? When human rights are under attack, what do we do? Maayong gabi, padayon, isulong nato ang atong patigpisog hangtod sa kadaugan.
Makibaka!
Huwag matakot!
Makibaka!
Huwag matakot!
Makibaka!
Huwag matakot!
Alright. So it's my honor to welcome a very special pastor up to speak today. He was a campus journalist during the Marcos martial law times in the Philippines, during martial law. And so it's my honor to welcome Gil Valenzuela.
Mabuhay! Mabuhay! Mabuhay kayong lahat! If I were in the Philippines talking to a crowd like this tonight, many would suspect that I am a Duterte fan. Look at my shirt! He popularized his shirt, right? There, yeah. So, actually when you watch TV and people are wearing this, they said, Duterte fan. Do I look like one? Am I a Duterte fan? We might have the same shirt, folks. We might be wearing the same shirt, but we have different minds. And we have different heart. We have different purpose in life. You know, I grew up in the Philippines. I was 14 years old when martial law was declared. You know why did I say that I'm different from Duterte, aside from the shirt? Because I love justice. You love justice? What do you say about the 2 years of 20,000 and more killings? Louder! Do you want it longer? No! Yes, it's so good that you are here today, announcing to these people here who are running our government that we are against the injustice of the Philippines. I'm different from Duterte because my God is not stupid. Did you hear him say that? He's an embarrassment. My God is not stupid because my God loved peace and loved justice. Going back to my years when I was a young lad, 14 years old, how was I introduced to this movement? No one told me. I was employed as a houseboy. I was 14 years old. I went to school during the night time and I worked during the daytime as a photographer. Our studio is located in front of a park. They call it Freedom Park. And I couldn't sleep that night because they were shouting and chanting like we did today. And I was very, very interested. So I snuck out of the house and went and listened to what they're saying. And what you're saying today, Maki Baka, is just reviving the spirit that I experienced that time. You know, I was born as in a poor family. My father was a katiwala, you know, a chargeman in a big hacienda in the Philippines. He was a chargeman, and he died helping the landlords. You know, he had a surgery in his kidney, and back then they had to open the whole body from front to back, and people from the peasants would come to him and report to him, may nagnanakaw po ng ating mga palayan. And a faithful servant that he was, taking care of the landlord's properties, he rode his horse only 6 months of big surgery. And when he came back, he chilled and he died. He died serving the landlords. And that's how I started thinking. You know, once may nung nangyari. You know, when the landlords would come to our house, you know, my father and my mother would slaughter the goat that I fed for a long time and the pig that we raised. And they would have feast, and all that is left for me and for my siblings are the intestines and the lungs and the heart. And here are people who owns a big land, who ate my food. So from childhood, I felt injustice. And I started to boil in my heart. Not until after, when I went to college, that I realized what was going on. You know, I heard, when I went to the park that night, I heard people saying, ang mayaman, lalong lumalayaman. Ang mahirap, lalong humihirap. Bakit? Kasi ang bukid, the land is not ours. The land is not ours. It's owned by someone. So, when harvest time comes, here are the landlords taking all the loot, and all that is left is few sacks of rice. And so, my family would not survive the whole year from the harvest that we had. My mother had to do laundry. Labandera si Inang. Mahirap lang kami. Labandera si Inang. Naglalabas ng mga damit na mayayaman. Si Tatang naman, he's a carpenter. He would, these landlords would take him to Baguio to build their mansion. And here we are, poor, serving them. So, when I went to college, all these things that are happening as I was growing, there's a boiling thing in my heart, and I wanted it out. I wanted to know more about what's going on in the people like I was, the peasants. We are the farmers. We are used by the landlords. We are the victims of the society. We are the victims of injustice. And so I started reading as much as I could. And then until the time I became the editor of CLSU Collegian. And the people who are, who knows about the struggle came to me and said, hey, what you're writing is something that we struggle too. So they fed me, they helped me, and they nurtured me. They educated me. And you guys, you are doing right when you inform yourselves about what's happening. You are few of the young people of our days who understands what's going on, and you care. And you care. So I wrote my heart. I wrote the boiling of my heart. And as you know, back then, you are not supposed to write against the government, or they're out to get you. So I made, this is what I did. There is a professor who would say, you can't do this, you can't write this. He would go to the printing press and tell the guy there, he cannot change it. And so after he leaves the printing press, I would go back to say, no, I am the editor of the school organ. You won't get paid if you won't write what I did, what I wanted there. So there are many times, I still have to go back and see what I've written, but there are many times that I have awakened many minds and hearts. I might not have held a gun on an arm, but my arm is a pen. Katulad ng sinabi ni Jose Rizal, the pen is mightier than sword. Right. The pen is mightier than sword. Those of you who have the ability to write down and let people know, what are the arms that you have today?
Camera.
You have this? Who has a cell phone? You have a cell phone. Oh, while many other young people are doing like this, selfieing, you guys who know what's going on should do better than that. Use your cell phone. This is your arm. Tell people, educate people. Many are innocent, unlike you. So use your arm. This is your arm. Get away from selfies. Do better than that. Folks, know what's going on. Don't be innocent and don't be ignorant. Look around. Who are marginalized? Who needs help? We can do something. Folks, I admire you for involving yourself in this struggle. We might be away from our country, but you are leading a struggle. And while there are people who are receiving injustice, the struggle should continue. Hanggat mayroong mga nadi-disadvantage, the fight continues. It never stops. It never stops. Or we'll be like blind people who don't see anything, or deaf who don't hear anything. Do you hear? Do you see what's going on? Do you see what's going on? What do we do? Sit back and drink our Starbucks coffee? No. What do we do? Stand back and fight. We might not have arms, but we have other arms. Arm yourself with knowledge. Arm yourself with passion, just like what you have today. I have many more things to say, but I will end this one and say, I admire all of you for being brave. Maki baka, wag matakot. Can we say that again? Maki baka! Maki baka! Wag matakot! Wag matakot! The fact that you are here in public, you are brave.
Thank you.
This is Joseph Jalario, Journal Global. I am covering here Marcelo anniversary.